In the quiet town of Grey Willow lived a watchmaker named Eli. His shop, like his heart, was always open. The townsfolk loved him. "Good morning, Eli," they'd call out. "Your shop's always open, just like your heart." And Eli would simply smile. Why lock doors in a town full of good souls? He believed in the inherent goodness of people, a belief as precise and unwavering as the timepieces he crafted. One afternoon, the rhythm of Grey Willow was interrupted by the sound of unfamiliar horse hooves. A stranger, with a warm smile and weary eyes, dismounted. "Excuse me, is this Grey Willow?" he asked. The villagers, ever welcoming, greeted him warmly. "Yes, stranger. Welcome." The man who introduced himself as Rowan looked around, his gaze lingering on the peaceful streets. "What a tranquil place," he remarked. "The people here must be very lucky." A wave of friendly murmurs and light laughter followed his words. Rowan's charm was immediate, his friendly demeanor a perfect fit for the town's trusting nature. He seemed like another good soul, another piece to fit seamlessly into Grey Willow's idyllic life. Drawn by the sounds of intricate machinery, Rowan soon found his way to Eli's watch shop. The air inside hummed with the life of 1,000 tiny gears. "You have remarkable skill, Eli," Rowan said, his eyes wide with genuine admiration as he examined a complex pocket watch. "These pieces, they're priceless." Eli, accustomed to his solitary work, felt a swell of pride. "Thank you," he replied. "I've worked alone for many years." Rowan leaned closer, his voice soft and conspiratorial. "Alone. Such talent deserves far more than solitude." "Tell me," he asked, his gaze flicking around the shop, "where do you keep your finest pieces? The ones you're most proud of?" Without a second thought, Eli gestured casually toward a simple wooden cabinet in the back. "Right in there," he said. "I trust this town." As the words left his lips, the clock on the wall seemed to tick just a little louder, a subtle beat counting down to a lesson yet unlearned. In the days that followed, a friendship bloomed between the watchmaker and the traveler. They would spend evenings together, sharing stories under the setting sun. In the cities, he told Eli, people would pay fortunes for your work. You could be a rich man. But Eli simply shook his head, the lamplight catching the content smile on his face. "I don't need riches, my friend," he said softly. "I just need honesty." "Ah, honesty," he mused, his eyes distant for a moment. A rare and precious thing, indeed. The friendship felt real, another testament to Eli's belief that kindness was a universal language, that a friendly face was a window to a friendly heart. He shared his techniques, his stories, and his trust, piece by piece, like handing over the delicate components of his most precious creations. Then came the storm. It descended upon Grey Willow with a sudden fury, turning the sky dark and lashing the peaceful town with wind and rain. A frantic banging on Eli's door cut through the roar of the thunder. It was Rowan, drenched and breathless. "Eli, please, may I come in?" Without hesitation, Eli rushed to the door, his heart filled with concern. "Of course, my friend." He slid the bolt, opening his home and his sanctuary to the man he now considered a dear friend. The door clicked shut behind Rowan, muffling the chaos of the storm outside, creating a pocket of perceived safety and warmth within the small shop. The fire crackled, the clocks ticked, and for a moment, all was calm once more. But the calm was a lie. As Eli turned to get a towel, the atmosphere in the room shifted. The warmth vanished, replaced by a sudden, chilling cold. Rowan's voice, when he spoke, was not that of a friend seeking shelter. It was flat, hard, and devoid of any emotion Eli recognized. "Thank you for your kindness," Rowan said, his words sharp as splintered glass, "and for your secrets." Eli turned, confusion clouding his face. A sudden struggle, a blur of motion, and the sickening clatter of a priceless watch hitting the floor. Pinned and powerless, Eli could only listen to Rowan's final, cutting words. "Trust is a luxury, my friend. A luxury you can't afford." The front door burst open and slammed shut. Heavy footsteps faded into the storm. Eli, left alone in the wreckage of his shop and his beliefs, could only shout his friend's name into the roaring darkness. The next morning, the storm had passed, leaving behind a sky washed clean and a town steeped in stunned silence. Inside the watch shop, the only sound was the slow, melancholic tick of a single, damaged clock. The news of the betrayal spread quickly, a bitter pill for the trusting people of Graywillow. "He fooled us all," one villager said, shaking his head in disbelief. Eli, sweeping up the shattered glass of his finest work, looked up, his eyes filled with a new, painful clarity. "No," he said, his voice quiet but firm. "He didn't fool me. I fooled myself." He had built a world based on a beautiful, flawed blueprint, the idea that everyone's heart ticked as honestly as his clock's. The empty cabinet in the back of his shop was a monument to that naivety, a silent, gaping reminder of a trust so carelessly given. Weeks turned into months. The seasons changed, and so did Eli. The open door to his shop was now closed, a small brass lock gleaming on the wood. One evening, a child, who had always known the shop to be a welcoming haven, looked up at him with innocent curiosity. "Why do you lock your door now, Eli?" she asked. Eli looked down, a gentle but sad smile touching his lips. He knelt to her level. "Because not every smile is a promise," he explained softly. "And not every kind word is true." He glanced back at his shop, at the steady, rhythmic ticking of the repaired clocks within. They were a symbol of his own healing, his own recalibration. "Trust," he said, his voice gaining a newfound strength, "is something that must be earned, not simply handed away like a leaflet in the street." The experience, though painful, did not make Eli bitter. It made him wise. He learned that the world wasn't a simple mechanism of good and bad, but a complex tapestry of light and shadow. The story of Eli and Rowan became a quiet legend in Graywillow, a lesson whispered from one generation to the next. It's a reminder for all of us. Be kind, always, for kindness is never a mistake. But be careful. Listen with your ears, but observe with your eyes. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more tales that make us think. Stay safe and stay wise.